Hi, I'm Neil with Nickel City Graphics, and we are trying another 360 interview because the last one was very popular. So a lot of that might have been due to our speaker, CJ.
Probably.
So you have a lot to live up to, Paul. But today we're going to talk to Paul Greiner from ALS Consulting. He's a client of Nickel City Graphics. We've done a lot of different projects together, so we're going to touch on a few of those. We are trying a few different things tech-wise. The last video we had kind of a real exposure difference between one of the two lenses on our 360 camera, so we're going to talk about that and some other technical things at the end. I will put the time code up somewhere in here, so if you want to skip to the tech part, that's possible. We're also going to do a couple more Easter eggs. That was sort of fun last time, right? Did you find any of the Easter eggs?
I did. Of course, you told me where they were in advance.
Right, yeah, that makes it easier, right? So we'll do a few more of those, and yeah, with that, we'll start with Paul. Paul, do you want to give everyone a rundown of your business and what you do?
Sure. I'm the principal consultant with ALS Consulting, and the short story is we work with business people to make them more effective at what matters to them. So yeah, we do strategy, we do process, we do those kinds of things, but we also do the coaching, the development work, right? So you can be the kind of person who will get the job done no matter what, and we'll give you some tools to make that easier.
All right. That sounded like a 60-second elevator pitch, huh?
It's like I've done that before.
All right. Okay, so we'll kind of get into it. The first thing I wanted to talk about was like some of the projects that we have done together. So we have done an animated piece. We have done what we're calling Market with Your Presentation product that we developed last year, and now we've got a series of weekly videos coming out. So that we don't get real bogged down, do you want to pick one of those three projects and kind of talk about what it's done?
Sure. Let's go with we might as well do what we're doing now, right? So we'll go with the weekly campaign.
Sure. Okay. With that weekly campaign, I can give it the rundown, or you can.
Yeah, you can give the rundown,
All right.
and I can spin it.
So Paul is putting together a campaign called 5 Minutes Forward. We just recorded today, week 5. And these are, from a video standpoint, very simple, single cut, typically, videos of Paul giving kind of a pearl of wisdom to his audience.
That must be the swine.
What? Huh?
The audience must be the swine then. Pearls before
Yes.
swine?
Oh yes, okay. Sorry. Didn't catch it. All right, yeah, so.
Like that. That was a great example.
Yeah. We may cut that out.
That'll be the only funny part.
Yeah. So that video series in particular, you've mentioned in another group that we're involved in that you're seeing results from that series, but not necessarily that typical digital marketing, people are buying stuff from you online. Instead, you're having more conversations in person because of it. Do you want to talk about kind of how that's worked?
Yeah, I think that, one of the things coming into it, right, is that we talked about, given that we've tried a few other things, and that's even some of the things that you didn't mention that we've tried video-wise, kind of putting video as part of a funnel and, something to try to convert into specific things, whether it's a workshop or it's what were the different things? Workshop, just like the one-on-one session, an online, whatever it is, we've tried that. And I think the strategy this time was really about pure value creation, right? So that this series is really not so much about bringing people in It's not so much about reaching people I'm not already connected to. It's about delivering value to, firstly, our subscribers, the people who are actually on our mailing list, who have said, yes, I want to hear what you have to say. So that's how we deliver what we say. And also building credibility in local networks. So, I wish I had more water. But that's, I think, been the primary intent is, and even if you look at the things online, so what I do is I put the videos out directly through the mailing list. That goes out Tuesday mornings, and then on Thursday, I'll put it out directly through Facebook for various reasons. And then now, about 2 weeks behind, I'm putting them on LinkedIn as well, right? So they're touching in different places, but way more than the online engagements, I get people in real life coming up and saying, great video, like I really like that really spoke to a situation that I was dealing with, that it provides a foundation of, okay, there's something here, and clarifies if you want to have another conversation with me or with my team in real life, right? So there's less and less of, well, what do you do, and what are you going to give me, and what's the process, and more clarity around what I'm really going to be delivering and where the value is, and I'm going to give you that value up front, right? So that's what it's about. It's about giving value, and that's been the reception. And you can't tell that by just looking at numbers. You can't tell that by just looking online and tracking things, though we do that. Pay attention to things, but it's the culture, it's the conversations that it generates.
Right, and so I guess to your point about what we've tried before with some of the more traditional digital marketing setups, and what we're doing now, and how we developed it, we talked about kind of breaking out of that typical mold, right? Because everyone knows a lot of business coaches, I think, who's in business and does the networking thing and everything like that. But by kind of telling those personal stories, things that happen to you in the videos that we've been doing and stuff, it gives you, I think, a little more, you have some credibility, you have some expert status, and I think that came out of partially that I've worked with Paul quite a bit myself, and it's not until you, I guess, experience it or, give it a chance to work until you actually have, until it works for you, right? So,
which is tough because that goes against everything we're taught. If you learn about how to get business done and how to promote, right, there's always you got to be able to really explain it. Like you said, 60-second pitch earlier. There's no 60-second way for me to actually communicate what the value is of what I do.
Right.
It's not really possible. So then it's about, okay, well, what can I communicate? And with video, how? What's the best medium? And it's also, Gary Vaynerchuk is someone who a lot of people are aware of, is blown up, but a lot of what he talks about is self-awareness, right? Starting to get at, what are your strengths? What aren't your strengths? For me, can I write a blog post? Yes. Will it come out at the end probably fairly intelligent sounding? Yes. Will it take me 3 hours of being an insane perfectionist and going back through it and still not being happy, and before I just, because of the deadline, have to push it out? Yes. So I can have the stressful experience of a written format and sending out information that's digested one way, or I can do something that is a little more suited to how I actually work well, and it's easier to prepare, easier to execute overall, and just works for what I'm looking to do. So I think that's an important piece, and video is kind of the way marketing's going, but you also you got to know where your strengths are, right? There are some people who probably should not be doing a live video, even if it's the Facebook Live, I'm doing it myself version.
Right. Well, and that's something that we talk about a lot when we talk about video, especially for smaller businesses or individuals who are in video, is that especially if you're in one of the fields where you're selling yourself, right? And the way you do things versus the way maybe somebody else does it, or your personality plays a large role in your product, that is when it can really be and when it's really hard to beat, right? Like,
Yeah.
because that level of personality is hard to have come across in written content. It's certainly hard to have come across in a printed brochure or on your business card or anything
Yes.
like that.
Yeah, or
So,
in a pitch. If your title is the same title as many other people, and if your actually accurate elevator pitch is pretty similar to many other people, then you've got to differentiate yourself by what you're bringing and how you're being about what you're doing. And there's no way to talk about that again doesn't just sound like something that someone else has said. But if you can experience it, then it clicks. And people, I mean, my experience with those videos also is that people who, they're in my network technically, and maybe on Facebook or in some place like that, or they're on the mailing list, but they weren't opening anything, they weren't looking anything, and that these videos have actually gotten them engaged in a way that another post, another email, anything like that was not going to, right? It brings something extra to the party where it's like, oh yeah, that's you.
yeah, absolutely. A chance to kind of put yourself out there a little more. On that note, though, you've been doing the email marketing for a while, and you do a lot of social media. Do you find kind of a difference in open rates or in click rates, share rates on social media between video and kind of some of the other content that you
Yeah, I mean, I think certainly when you go however it's best suited for the platform, right? So context is decisive. So on Facebook, I mean, that's the reason why instead of just having the link to the YouTube format and throwing that through Facebook, right, you go live through Facebook and put it in directly native, and then it moves when people go by it. So they interact more with that than some inspirational quote, or something, or even a graphic with an inspirational quote in it. Like, yes, the rates have gone up. The email rates have certainly gone up. And that's partly to keeping it fresh. That's partly to the video content itself and the lead-in. And it's got to be something relevant. So since it's increased the relevancy, then it's increased the participation. And it's maintained, because like you said, we put out 4 of them. And it has stayed, it jumped and it stayed consistent the whole time. So it's not the oh, that's new, and whoop. It's actually maintaining the level of engagement.
Yeah, that's a good point. We determine your kind of organic level of viewership on each one of those videos. And then we also push them out through the guaranteed views program as well, which I think we still have yet to do a report on this one on that, but we'll take a look. Engagement's been good for what that's worth. So,
well, the intent, right? I mean, the core intent, like that stuff would be nice, and if that elevates it, it's nice. But it's all gravy from there, because the people I'm looking to reach are the people who are responding.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, well, that's really all I got for you. So I'm going to talk just a little bit about the setup that we have here. So we tried a little bit of a different lighting setup, putting the lights slightly in front of that front camera lens on the key mission there. And the thought is that that will take some of the 360 nature out of there. You're going to see the lights in their entirety, which is not thrilling, but I think we'll have less glare issues there. And then I also wanted to let you know that this is our studio space, and you can see stuff going on in the background there.
Catch all the action.
So, yeah, we've got a lot of kind of set pieces and stuff in here. So that is going to be it for this edition. Let's call it episode 2, I guess.
Yeah, episode 2. And if you want to sing a little song at the end, then I can drag that cart back around.
No, I don't think so. I think we're okay. And yeah, let me know what you think. Just like last time, if you think it's a cool way to do it, let me know. If not so much, you can let me know that too. Look for some more 360 stuff coming out from us over the next little bit. We've got a presentation that Paul will be at next week on just that thing.
Yep.
So,
And look around. And if you'd prefer that Neil shoots these things in front of any of the cool set pieces you see looking around, then
Right.
put your request in.
yeah, good idea. Yeah, excellent. All right, thanks. See you next time.
Thanks.